different sonotrodes. Sonotrodes come in many different shapes, sizes, and materials. Here are just some round sonotrodes, larger round sonotrodes, some blade sonotrodes or block sonotrodes. And you'll notice that some of these have what we refer to as slots. So there's slots here, and the slots are used to channel that longitudinal vibration up and down and not to stray or not to vibrate in a parasitic mode, as we call it. A 20 kilohertz sonotrode is about 5 inches long. So when a sonotrode becomes wider than it is long, the vibrations don't know whether they're supposed to be going up and down or at an angle or transverse. So these slots are added in very specific locations. They're very specific in their width, and they're very specific in the location from the back of the sonotrode and the front of the sonotrode. All this goes into the tuning aspect of the tool, because the tool has to vibrate very precisely at 20 kilohertz. So again, these slots are put into larger sonotrodes that are wider than they are long. The different materials that we typically use are either titanium, aluminum, or steel. I would say about 75 to 80% of the tools that we make are made of titanium. And then the other, 10% in aluminum and 10% in steel, plus or minus. Titanium has the best mix of strength and elasticity. Aluminum is very soft, so it can have more amplitude or it can be stretched more than titanium. However, because it's softer, it can wear out faster as well. So on the other end of the equation is CPM steel. If you have a glass-filled nylon, for example, and we've seen applications of glass-filled nylon up to as much as 30% glass fill. The glass fill is abrasive, so the tool can wear. It's making contact with, the sonotrode is making contact with that plastic part 20, 30, 35,000 times per second. So just as if you were to beat on something multiple times, it'll deform, it'll wear, it'll change. So we choose the material of the sonotrode depending upon the material of the plastic part to be welded. And then furthermore, we can add coatings, such as a hard coat anodize on aluminum tools, tungsten carbide on titanium, chrome plating. We've used diamond coating, we've used nickel Teflon. There's a variety of different coatings that we can customize to apply to the face of the sonotrode to minimize that wear or to affect the aesthetics so that blemishes are minimized on the plastic parts. And then furthermore, and not so common, is that we can add vacuum to a sonotrode, or we can add a nodal mounted plunger. And these types of applications, if you had a component like a membrane or a filter or a valve, maybe something that has to be pushed out of the way of the parts welding prior to welding, these components are added to the sonotrode to assist or help in that type of application.